Welcome. I am Alice Flores. I'm one of the specialists for Tulare County Office of Ed. Some of you guys might have seen me, might have seen my face around. If you guys see me around, just say hi. Anyhow, so during this leadership workshop, we're going to be talking about different topics. And you might have met Casey. You guys will be seeing Fabian, Steven, and my friend Brooke, and me, Alice Flores. So what am I going to be talking about today? Well, I'm going on a whole different playing field of like talking about something completely different. But it really does address you guys, and I hope you guys can get something out of this, right? So my topic is going to be really focusing on making you a better leadership member to your community, to your school. So we're going to be talking about self-care, right? Self-care for middle school leadership students. So what does self-care look like? Well, when I think of self-care, I think of bubble baths, candles, being pampered, right? Yeah, no, I don't. I really don't think of those things. However, some of you guys, this might work for you guys, but it's not for everyone, right? So we gotta really address what is self-care. How can we do it? So we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be talking about what is self-care. What isn't self-care? We're going to identify some triggers of feeling like really like just our batteries are really low, right? We've got to recharge ourselves. We're going to develop a plan. Hopefully we can develop something. You guys can kind of get something out of this. We're going to talk about some coping skills along with this plan. We're going to talk about the 3 golden rules to developing a good and healthy self-care plan. And along the way, we're going to be watching some videos. So to start off that, we're actually going to start watching this first video. So enjoy it. It's called Numb. It's a short film. Some of you guys will be able to relate to it, and some of you guys may not. Okay, so enjoy.
A burst and then I'll jump on it. I love being a teenager. Hands on me. Hands on me. My chains. Are you learning? I'm staying here. I'm gonna eat. You look like you're on crack. Yeah, wait. Hold on.
Look familiar? I'm sure it does. We can all relate a little bit to it, right? Having to do assignments behind a screen, having to meet with your teacher, having to possibly see your friends from a different perspective. You know, we all become a little bit withdrawn sometimes during this time. And it's important that we reflect this time to give ourselves back something, right? So this is why we're doing this, is just to really focus on giving back something to yourself and knowing when to disconnect to reconnect, because we're not designed to learn this way. Obviously, we're not. This is so hard. Having to learn and submit things constantly through assignments, be on our cameras. It's hard. It is very, very difficult, I have to say. So, I mean, I can relate to this in so many ways, and I'm sure some of your teachers can, and maybe your siblings or friends. We can all relate to this. This is why it's important to take a break from it and really give ourselves back some good self-help, some self-care, right? All right. So when we talk about what is self-care, what is it? How do we distinguish what it is? Well, self-care is an activity that we do deliberately in order to take care of our mental mind, right? Our mental ability, our emotions, how we feel, and our physical, right? So it's not just all those bubble baths and candles and, you know, it's beyond that. It's taking care of these three components. It's our mental, our emotional, and our physical, okay? But what isn't self-care, right? We can go on and say, well, I'm doing self-care. It's not all about that. Self-care isn't something that we force ourselves to do or something we don't enjoy doing, right? It's self-care is something that refuels us rather than taking from us. And self-care isn't a selfish act, meaning that you're not overly indulging in it, right? You're not doing it all the time and just focusing on you, and be all about you, right? Because the better version of you is one that has balance, one that can give to your community, can give to yourself, but can also give this time to break away and recharge your batteries, right? We need that. We need rest. We need different things. It's important that we address those things. All right. So you can't be like the Energizer Bunny. You can't keep going and going and going and beating to the beat of your drum, right? We can't do that. We're not designed that way. I'm not designed that way, even though I feel like I am. And my friends and family tell me, how can you keep going all day long, Alice? I'm like, hey, I don't know, man. I just keep going, right? But I sometimes feel like this little Energizer Bunny. I'm just kind of beating and going. However, we're not designed this to be this way, and we need to take a break sometimes. So I always use this analogy of you can't pour from an empty glass, right? So sometimes we need to refill our glass, refill it with things that make us feel good, because the better, or the more water we have in the week, we can give back to others. We can't give to others when our glass is empty. Okay. All right, so identifying some triggers of when our battery is feeling low. Some things here that I have learned is that feelings of isolation, being behind a screen. Maybe some of you guys are at home all day long, your mom and dad are working, and you're having to do distance learning from your house alone all day, where you don't talk to nobody. Maybe you're by yourself like me sometimes, right? Lack of sleep. I'm huge on that one. If I'm tired, lack of sleep can really definitely trigger me to have feelings of I'm tired. I'm not doing so good, right? Poor diet. Obviously, we're eating at home. We're having to make our own meals sometimes, right? And it's a little different. We're just kind of grabbing and going and kind of doing things that can kind of trigger us to have feelings of kind of not feeling good, right? We need to have a good diet. Feeling overly anxious, unrealistic expectations of like maybe when assignments are due, maybe teachers not understanding how we function and during this time, right? Social media can kind of identify some triggers of feeling us withdrawn. Overwhelmed with assignments. Oh my God, I can't express how many assignments you guys have, and I'm so sorry. You know, that's why when we see you guys, we really try to make it fun and exciting to be with you guys. And being around people with risky behaviors that are abusing alcohol, tobacco, and drugs, you know, that you're putting yourself at a risk there of kind of doing things that are not very healthy, right? All right, so those are some identifying some triggers of what can lead us down this path of feeling withdrawn and having our batteries, low, right? So I always say this thing, I say we got to disconnect to reconnect. So sometimes when our batteries are running low, and these are things that can cause that, can really kind of make us withdrawn. All right, so here we have a video And I hope you guys can kind of relate to this. So these are some teens that are talking about learning through this time and the things that they have done to do some self-care, but also maybe you guys can kind of relate a little bit to this. All right, so enjoy the video and I will step out for another minute. Hopefully you don't see my arm swinging around right over. All right, bye.
Hi, I'm Samina, and thank you for your interest in how we teens are feeling during this time. We are from Needham High School in Needham, Massachusetts, and we are Earn Your Peace.
Hi, I'm Adi. This time has brought concern, of course, challenges, and many new opportunities. I think it's good to capture all the sides of this time, the good, the bad, and the in-between.
Hi, I'm Talia. I think it's really important for adults to be able to hear and understand what teens are feeling.
Hi, I'm Kai, and I want kids like us to be able to get the help that they need.
Hi, I'm Josh, and I want our communities to be able to stay strong, especially when it's so hard for us to keep up our physical bonds.
Hi, I'm Dan. I hope that we can answer adults' questions about what's going on in teens' heads.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and I want to help strengthen the connection between teens and adults.
Hi, my name is James. As a football player who's supposed to be strong, even emotionally, I wanted to break the facade and share the feelings behind the mask.
Hi, I'm Cindy, and together we all wanted to delve into what we've been experiencing during this pandemic.
The biggest challenge for me during this time is finding the motivation to keep my sleep schedule and my work schedule consistent.
The biggest challenge for me during this time has been reaching out to people and staying connected. I always fear that that's going to be the last interaction I have with them.
There are so many things that I've wanted to do, and now I don't have an excuse not to do them.
It's challenging to focus on my schoolwork because working in my room is really distracting.
When we had school, I had a strict schedule that I stuck to every single day, and now I don't even have a schedule at all. Because of this, I started to lose motivation to do even this little things like homework.
I'm usually really busy and I do a lot of things to have fun and keep myself motivated, and I'm really sad and disappointed to miss them.
I miss being able to go and visit my baby cousins on the holidays, and just the thought of never being able to do any of that ever again is scary.
I've been exploring a lot more music recently, being able to focus on listening to new songs rather than having to have it as my background noise. Music gives me an escape from what's around me.
During this time, I take care of myself by trying to get a little bit of exercise and checking in on the people who are important to me every day.
During this time, I've been taking care of myself by listening to my inner thoughts and feelings, and that's how I decide whether I want to do something or not.
I have been taking care of myself by bullet journaling. This is not only really fun and relaxing, but it also helps me keep track of all the things that I need to get done.
I have learned that I'm a lot more introverted than I thought I was, and I'm able to do a lot more things independently than before.
I have better days when I start the interactions with other people in my family. I like to have that head start. It makes me feel better.
I used to measure myself by how much I did in a day. I want to do something that makes me feel better.
I found comfort in the realization that no matter how permanent a negative emotion may feel, it isn't.
Shifting my thinking to remind myself to change my expectations has been really helpful.
A while ago, I gave up on trying to learn the ukulele, but now I'm playing chords that I didn't even know I could play.
As an adult, even if you don't have an everyday relationship with a teen, just by checking in can be very helpful.
We don't need them to fix anything, we just need them to be there to listen.
I really appreciate all the ways my teachers have been accommodating to a new environment.
Parents can help by giving their kids a hug from time to time, since hugs are harder to come by these days.
Adults can be supportive by just trying to be empathetic. It's a hard time for us students, and adjusting to a new way of learning is hard.
My biggest worry for what's next is that I will lose my social skills. I'm currently a really social person, but I fear that I will lose that spark.
I worry that I won't be able to go to college on time, or if I do, it'll be nothing like it should be.
One thing that worries me is that I'm going to come out of this missing a lot of necessary things that I need to be an adult.
I'm worried about when this will all be over and what that will look like. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for seeing each of us as individuals
with our own backgrounds and identities,
and our challenges and strengths.
Thank you for reaching out to us.
Thank you for all that you do.
If you were wondering, Own Your Peace is an initiative at Needham High that for 14 years has tried to create a culture of caring, compassion, and outreach. We encourage each member of the community to reach out on behalf of themselves and others, to practice self-care, and to take community responsibility.
Be safe.
Be well.
Own your peace.
All right. So I hope you guys got to see some other people, maybe a little older, kind of relate to that a little bit, that you guys are not alone. We're all kind of having to deal with this and in a very different way. So thank you for that. And hopefully you guys can have a discussion. If you guys need to pause during this time, you guys can pause and take this moment to have a discussion and maybe ways that you can relate to this as well, okay? All right, that's my pause. All right, so we're gonna be talking next about while creating our self-care plan, right? One size does not fit all, right? We can't just go and say, you know what, that's gonna work for me. That's gonna work for me. Like, I'm gonna give you guys ideas. These are just ideas. These are not to tell you that this is exactly how you need to do it. They're just ideas, and maybe you can kind of create your own plan. So I want you guys to get out a piece of paper during this time and make 3 columns, because we're gonna address our mind, which is, you know, our mental well-being, right? Our emotions, which is like our spirit. And then we're going to address our physical and our body. So it's going to look like this. You guys can address it in 3 different columns. If you have this, you can do your mind, your spirit, your body, or you can do your emotions, your mental, and your physical, okay? So it's kind of the same thing, it's just a little worded a little differently. So first, we're going to start off with our mental, right? Our coping skills. We're going to give out some ideas. Remember, not one size fits all. So you might be able to get one idea out of here. Maybe you were already doing some stuff. Just depends, right? So we're just going to throw out some ideas out there. Maybe after this, you guys can have a discussion on some other things that might work for you guys. All right, so first one is take lots of breaks. Get away from the camera. Take a break. I do it all the time. Trust me, I do it. It's okay to take breaks. Don't be on. When you have a break and your teacher's giving you a break, don't sit behind there. Take a break maybe, okay? So give yourself lots of breaks in between these times. Listen to music. You guys heard some of those girls on there, they're like playing music, maybe playing the piano, maybe listening to music that you've never listened to before, maybe expanding your horizon. Maybe listen to music that your parents used to listen to when they were your age. That's always a good one. I like that. I know I do. All right, and read books. I love reading books. I mean, sometimes I will put down the camera and I will read a chapter, or maybe even read a page or paragraph, even just picking up where I reread something off the other day, right? Reading books is really good. It's really good for our expanding our mindset. Maybe some positive affirmations, some thoughts, maybe just reading some stuff. I know I sometimes will do that. I will definitely sit there and kind of go through my social media and like look at positive affirmations and or think of positive things, right? Sometimes writing. I'm not a good writer. I like writing, forced to write, but so maybe doing a little bit of journaling can help a little bit with that during this time. Some people are writers. It helps them get their ideas from their head onto something, and seeing it that way can kind of really help out. Having a routine. You guys kind of heard some kids on there, they were talking about like, I used to have a really strict routine and now I don't. Now I kind of feel some self-motivation. So yeah, get yourself a routine, get it going, you know, develop something that's going to work for you. Maybe it's the way the first 20 minutes before class starts, you're going to have a routine. What you do in between your breaks. Maybe after, how do you decompress from being behind a screen all day? So maybe that might help you guys out. Establish a routine. It's always good, okay? And then focus on things you can control, because you can't control what your teacher's going to assign you. You can't control everything around your life. You can't control what your parents are going to do, what they're going to say to you. You can't control what your friends are, how they're going to react, what people are going to post on there. But what you can control is how you what you can what you think and when you can control it, basically. So focus on things you can control, okay? Give yourself that time to do that. And then meditate. We will talk about meditating a little bit more. I will show you guys a video of that. That'll be my last video to show you guys, but we will focus on meditating. And a lot of people meditate. It sounds kind of silly, but I do it, and it really does help me get centered and balanced with myself, because I can be all over the place. But meditating really does center me and ground me and make me be mindful of my surroundings and people around me and be thankful for that. All right. So now we're going to address our emotions, our spirit. So this part you're going to address in your emotions. We have different emotions, obviously, right? We have feelings of sadness, feelings of fear, feelings of disgust, feelings of joy and happiness, right? I think like that little girl Joy lives inside of me quite a bit, oftentimes. And sometimes I can be really sassy and really mean, right? All right, just depending on what kind of Alice you get a day. All right, so we're going to be addressing this part, our emotions and our spiritual part, right? So again, meditating does help out. It kind of goes into the last one to this one. It does help us out with our emotions. Meditating kind of grounds us and helps us feel present with what emotions we are feeling right now, okay? Maybe video chatting with people that you enjoy, whether it's on Snapchat, maybe it's through FaceTime. I'm trying to think of all the different ones. Instagram has something like that. Facebook does something like that as well, right? Maybe it's through Google Meets or some other thing, something like that you really, really feel comfortable with. Maybe it's just connecting with someone on a personal basis, your best friend, right? It's not always just being behind a screen and texting stuff. Maybe it's just that face-to-face contact. So maybe some little video chatting will help you guys during this time. And then find things that make you laugh, right? There's so many things out there. Maybe it's reading a funny comic strip. Maybe for you guys, it's watching funny videos. I know for me, it's like watching little puppies and little babies. I don't know why that brings me so much joy, but that makes me laugh. Just doing things, or maybe like watching a video or watching a movie that's a really funny one. It's really funny and it's got you going in the right direction of getting you out of this, right? Bringing you out of that. Maybe it's getting back. Maybe it's sending a text to 5 friends or family members or classmates. Maybe when you're on a chat, just saying, hey, you look great today. Maybe it's sending something very positive, giving back, being that reflection, what you want to be mirroring back to you, okay? All right, so I always say really nice, encouraging things to my family, my friends, and to like when I see you guys on Zoom, I say, hey, how's it going? But definitely sending some encouraging text really does make you feel good, right? And then leaning on personal beliefs or faith. This is just something that if you believe in something higher, or whatever it is that you believe on, or you have some faith, just leaning on that for support. That helps out some people too. I wanted to address that, just because we're all different, right? So just lean on whatever is personal to you and your beliefs, and what makes you you and your values. Declutter your room. Oh my goodness. I don't know how many times I've seen people with cluttery workspaces. That is not good for your emotions. Dealing with that mess? No. Clean it up a little bit, okay? Maybe it's just cleaning up where you're going to be like working at. Maybe it's on your bed. Maybe it's on your desk if you have a desk, right? Just decluttering a little section of that. Maybe it's your countertop, you're working in the kitchen. It's just decluttering and putting away some of that stuff that doesn't need to be there, okay? Just kind of going through that. How about this one? Declutter social media. Unfollow people that are negative, right? The negative, you see that negative stuff and you're out there, you're viewing it and you're watching it. Guess what? You're being a part of it as well. So declutter some of that social media. Unfollow people that are negative, or unfollow people that are always posting negative things out there. I know I did. I kind of went through my social media. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm listening to. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. So unclutter some of that social media too, right? You don't want to see that stuff, those responses. Declutter that. All right. And maybe self-reflect on positive things, right? Think of the things that you have right now. Like you still have your health, you're still going to school. You got A's, maybe, I don't know. right? Think of positive things. And spend time with your pets, family too, I guess. All right. But I am a big pet person. So spend time with your pets. They really do help you unease some of that stress. I know they do for me and for my kids as well. When they're feeling really stressed out, I'm like, oh, do you need the little dog? Okay. But it does help out. So spending time with your pets and family, I guess, does help out. No, just kidding. But for reals, spending time with family is really important as well, and friends, okay? But remember, we gotta be social, do it in a social distancing way where we can be safe, okay? So that's priority. All right, so about our physical body. We over here like SpongeBob, right? SpongeBob over here, our physical body. So what we're talking about is exercising. I know we don't have this routine of being in PE or having our PE class. So try to spend some time every day doing something physical, right? Whether it's going for a walk around the block, maybe for some of you guys it's riding your bike, maybe shooting some hoops. I know I've been trying to do that with my kids. I've been trying to run and chase them with a Nerf gun. I'm gonna get you. So just kind of getting that body moving, right, in that right direction. Maybe stretching in between these little classes, right? You know, stretching your body. Your bodies are not designed to be behind a computer like this all day. We're not, okay? Take some time, stretch, move around a little bit. It does help out and it does make you feel better. Maybe dance, right? Put on some music, get it going, and then go back again, okay? So maybe dancing for you guys is one. I know maybe you were in dance classes before. Now dance classes looks different. Or you just like listening to music and you just kind of get into it, right? I can be in the kitchen cooking a meal or be doing some homework and standing up and just kind of listen to music in the background. Maybe it's this holiday music that's in the background. I don't know. Get into it, all right? Dancing's good. It's good for the soul. All right, and eat healthy, right? So don't just grab everything off of there. Maybe make some meals or plan some meal planning, right? I don't know. Think about what you're going to be thinking, making for lunchtime or something. Eating a healthy, balanced diet does help us out. What you put in your body is what you put out as well, okay? So no more Takis or those hot Cheetos. Ooh, I know they're really good. Trust me, I've tried them. They're very addicting. You can't just have one. Maybe putting those down, maybe grabbing an apple or banana, okay? Spending time outside, guys. I don't know how important the sun is. It does produce vitamin D and it does help us feel good, right? Just sitting out there sunbathing. Dogs do it. My dog does it all the time. He's like, woman, I need to be away from you. And he goes outside and he gets some vitamin D. So even dogs know how to do this. They spend some time outside. Sleep, rest is important. You know, disconnect your phone maybe an hour before you go to bed. Try not to look at any social media. Just maybe watching a TV show, I don't know, just getting enough, plenty of rest, right? Making sure our bodies are getting enough sleep. That's important. And rest in between times, okay? I have done this before. I'm on my lunch break and I'm just like, go. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I have to put things away, put a little alarm clock on for like 15, 20 minutes and say, Siri, wake me up at 15 minutes. And I get up, but just resting really does help. And just taking my eyes off the screen really does help out a lot. Maybe you guys will rest after this, okay? Rearrange your room, moving things around. Maybe you want to move your bed to a different side. Maybe the lighting gives you a better, prettier zoom picture right there. I don't know. So maybe just rearrange your room a little bit. That kind of helps out. And it gets you moving. You're lifting things, you're moving around. It gets you going. You're being productive in something. All right. So I hope you guys got something that looks more like this. And you guys can maybe like make a list of people that can support you along this way. Maybe it's your leadership teacher. Maybe it's your PE teacher. That's really cool. Maybe it's another teacher. Maybe it's one of your parents. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's someone that you've known for a very long time, your bestie, right? So it's being supportive in this area is just making a list of people that you feel like can be supportive to you when you're not feeling so good, right? And then things you want to accomplish from this. Like for me, it would be peace, serenity, and control, right? Feeling happy, doing good in my job, being productive, being a good person. Those are all things that are important to me. So I hope you guys learned something with creating this with the mental, the emotional, and our body, right? And our physical. So I hope you guys have something that looks like this, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. All right, we're going to talk about the 3 golden rules as far as how And what does it look like, right? So tweet yourself, right? It's okay to give yourself. So give yourself some rhythm and some routine. Maybe as time goes by, you guys will be able to establish and implement more ideas. You guys are gonna have to try some things. Now you're like, oh, okay, that did not work for me, so I'm not doing that again for self-care. Or maybe something really did work and it worked well for you. So being, just finding different ways of what's gonna work for you, right? Finding a rhythm and routine. All right, so that's rule number 1 of these rules. Number 2 is plan. Don't be like me sometimes, right? Self-care needs to be something that's actively planned rather than something that just happens. We don't want to just like say, okay, I'm just going to do it. No, the more thought, the more ideas you have into planning it out, the better, and it's going to feel for you, right? And when you have plans like this, you're like, nope. Sorry guys, I gotta take some self-care right now, and just giving yourself that compassion, that kindness back to yourself. Okay, it's really having it planned out. I need to plan it out because I'm definitely one that can just kind of be all over the place if I don't have a plan of things. This does keep me structured and has that routine. All right, and the last one is being aware and being present. Right? So this is being conscious of what counts, what matters to you, being aware of what you do, why you're doing it, how it feels, and what are the outcomes? What does it feel like? Okay, did that feel good? Was that long enough? Was that maybe too short of a time? Maybe you still need to find a different area where you can express yourself and give more back to yourself. Okay, so it's just being present and being aware of what you're doing. I know for me, sometimes just kind of going out on a hike alone, that just maybe going around a walk with my dogs and just being present with my thoughts, and no social media, no phone, no music, and just being present just kind of does help me feel good. Okay. All right, so that's my 3rd rule to this, and it's being aware and being present. All right, so that being said, now we're going to learn how to meditate like my friend Patrick. All right, so this video is called Mindfulness. It's from Mindfulness, I'm sorry, and it's called Release. Some of you guys might have seen it if you guys have had me in one of my classes when I talk about anxiety and how to decompress, and it talks about at the end how to meditate and how to be mindful of being present with yourself. So enjoy the video. And these are all 7th graders and middle school, just like you guys. And they all talk about the different stressors that they go through. All right, so enjoy.
Middle school can be really hard sometimes.
One of my biggest stresses is the homework at school. Sometimes you get piles and piles and piles. You get projects and more projects plus homework.
Like, I need to get it done.
I'll be doing my homework and then the phone rings.
You want to answer it, you want to look at it, but at the same time, you don't.
There's so many things you can do on the phone.
I use social media, Twitter, Instagram. I text my friends, I watch YouTube, etc.
There have been stupid arguments over text messages sometimes.
I'm not sure what they're gonna say, how they're gonna say it. What should I say back to them? When I hit send, my fingers all trembling because I'm like, is this the right thing to say? Should I say something else? Should I just send it? No. Send it? No. Press send. It's done. Now I gotta wait for the response.
As a 7th grade girl, the popular kids might say, you should do your hair like this, you should wear this kind of makeup, you should do just things like that to get girls to be like worried about what people think.
And it's a lot of pressure to not be wearing makeup, so you never know if you're like as pretty as the people who are wearing makeup.
My friends were getting bullied a lot because of the 8th graders and the 7th graders think that they're the best.
Sometimes people aren't nice to you, and that's how it is in the real world, but gets to be a lot, and it just makes me upset.
I think people are afraid people are gonna be talking about them. Like if you feel embarrassed or if you made a mistake or something, then I just feel very trapped.
It feels awful, so I try to do everything perfect.
My schedule is tense, busy, and really tiring because I actually cram a lot of things into one day.
I have due dates, I have school, I have activities with band. It clutters in my mind and I think, how am I going to deal with this?
I kind of just start to like shut down.
Well, my stomach always feels like very in knots.
I think my brain's like on overdrive. There's a bunch of papers just flying through my brain and there's people running around and there's a fire in there.
I get a lot lot of anxiety when I have a lot of pressure put on me.
Pressure.
Expectation.
It's a lot to take in when you know it's on you.
You can begin by closing your eyes, getting in a posture where your back is straight, steady like a mountain, but your muscles are soft and relaxed. And then go ahead and bring your hand up to your chest, placing it over your heart or on your chest, wherever it feels comfortable. And then just feel your body breathe, just noticing as you inhale the rising of your chest, as you exhale the falling of your chest. And just staying with this gentle rhythm of your breathing. And you might have some thoughts that come in, that you become distracted. That's okay, that's the nature of the mind. We just gently redirect our attention and come back to feeling our hand on our stomach as we breathe. And when you're ready, you can put your hands down and open your eyes. When we bring our attention and we concentrate on feeling our breathing, it can help to calm down that storm that we might be feeling, that sense of overwhelm or frustration or upset. Because one thing that happens is that we can get stuck thinking that whatever we're thinking, feeling, or feeling physically won't change, especially if it's unpleasant. But actually, the more attention, kind attention that we give to it, the more that it will start to release. So mindfulness gives us this choice. It gives us this freedom to choose how to respond as opposed to react right away. Does that make sense?
When you listen to your heart and you hear the sound, it really calms you down and you feel really loose and free.
I do get a lot of stress and I take on a lot of things, and to be able to allow myself to relax and see things clearly is definitely a huge thing that I need to work on.
Some of my friends, they don't take tests very well, and I know that meditating would help them relax more and it'll help them to do better.
I think using those practices in the future to try and calm yourself will really help and relieve a lot of the stress that middle school brings.
Good. Hope you guys were able to learn something from that. And it's called Release. You guys can find it on YouTube again. And I hope you guys were able to kind of see that, hey, being in middle school is not easy, especially during this time, right? Maybe this is another tool you can add to your self-care belt, okay? Hope you guys got something out of that. All right, so why do we do this? Well, if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to be at a higher risk of developing some mental disorders like anxiety disorders. Maybe it's depression, maybe it's a mood disorder. We want to make sure that we take care of ourselves so we're not developing these bad habits that lead into mental illnesses sometimes, okay? What can also happen too is that we can indulge in overeating when we're stressed out. We don't want to do those things, right? We don't want to overeat or not eat enough sometimes, right? We want to make sure we have this balance, okay? Most importantly, we don't want to start abusing and using alcohol to use that as a form of self-care. That's not the choice here, guys. That's not we're here to teach you guys healthy ways, not ways that are going to be putting you at risk for developing some substance abuse. It could be maybe other hard drugs like cannabis. Maybe it's marijuana. We want to avoid that. We don't get into this type of form of being able to rely on things that are not healthy for us. Or biggest thing right now what we're seeing is young people using vapes, right? We want to make sure that we're making good, positive choices that lead us away from that. So that's why we kind of do this, okay? All right, so those are some risk factors when you don't take care of yourself and you learn to lean on things that are not healthy. All right, so Q&A, really quick. What if I can't find time to schedule self-care? Yes, you can. You can do it in between. You can do it in the morning. You can do it right before bed. You can do it on the weekends. There's times in between. You don't need a whole hour to yourself. Sometimes it's just 15 minutes. Sometimes it's just stretching. Sometimes it can just be a 30-minute workout, right? You don't need a whole lot of time. You just need time to give back to yourself and what feels good for you, okay? So you can schedule it. Put a reminder on your phone. You guys are really good at that. All right, well, how often should I do self-care? Well, I do self-care once a day. I'm gonna be honest. I take care of myself once a day. If I haven't, I do feel like my battery's running out, right? So I do one thing per day, whether it's resting, whether it's taking a break, whether it's maybe meal planning and eating a little healthier. Maybe it's scheduling myself to sleep those 7 to 8 hours, which I kind of don't sometimes. Maybe it's a little bit more of that, okay? So it's as often as you need, but not overly indulged, where you're not giving back to yourself and you're not having this balance with work and school and homework, okay? And then what if I'm already feeling some of these risk factors, like we talked about, these mental illnesses, or developing like feelings of anxiety, maybe depression, maybe some, you're starting to abuse? Well, there are things that can help out. I would like you guys to reach out to at least one person that it's in your life that you trust, an adult, right? And maybe it's talking to them and getting some information, right? Or talking to your school counselor. You guys have really great, amazing school counselors at your sites that are, here for you guys. All right, so we're reaching out that way. Because we don't want to go down this path, right, of being really stressed out, overwhelmed, and having fears of all this stuff, right? We want to stay away from that. And if you're still feeling like it's no shame in this, right? So we want to make sure that we're staying away from things like that can lead us really stressed out. Another thing too is that you can also reach out to, if you're vaping and you feel like, okay, I need to start quitting, or you know someone that does and needs some help, you can obviously contact the California Smokers Hotline. It's 1-800-NO-BUTTS. It's really easy to remember. I put that out there, always super simple. We give out pamphlets all the time. Another one is the Suicide Prevention Hotline. If you or your friends or know anybody that could use this, it's a national hotline. It's really good. It's really easy to use as well. So these are resources that are out there to help you guys out if you guys are feeling, so having thoughts of suicide as well. So that kind of concludes my presentation today. Thank you again. I know it was a little longer than the other presentations. However, remember, the more you give back to yourself, the better you are, a version of yourself to give to others and to your school and to your classroom, and to be a part of this whole leadership. I want to thank you again, part of our TUPE program and our Choices program, and here throughout Tulare County Office of Ed. Thank you so much. I hope you guys learned something and got something out of this, or just can maybe encourage other people to do it for themselves if you guys are already doing some really good self-care techniques. All right, guys, this is Alice Flores signing off. Adios. Till next time, if we see each other in the future, I hope to see you guys soon. Okay, bye.